Well, the time is finally here. We all live in a world in which your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man can stand side by side with the Avengers on the big screen. For those of you unaware, Sony Pictures recently struck a deal with Marvel Studios in order to bring Spider-Man to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are a lot of details to this deal, but in an effort to keep things short, all you'll really need to know is that Marvel Studios will have creative control of the new Spider-Man series, while Sony Pictures continues to produce the films and get the final say on certain decisions. This event was one that fans of the character have been waiting for such a long time, and I'm here to count down the top 10 reasons you should be excited for Spidey's MCU debut. Number 10. Marvel Studios' track record. Ever since Marvel founded their own movie studio and gave us Iron Man in 2008, Marvel Comics fans have been blessed with good quality movies. I can easily say that I liked all of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, and we've had a lot of them. 3 Iron Man films, 2 Captain Americas, 2 Thors, 1 Hulk, and an Avengers film, and a Guardians of the Galaxy film, with plenty more movies in development. Granted, not all of them were masterpieces, but neither of them were disasters either. Based on Marvel's successes with their other properties, I'd say we have nothing to worry about for the company's arguably most iconic character. Number 9. The tone. A lot of Marvel movies have done a fantastic job of not only being able to appeal to hardcore fans of the comics, but also to the general movie-going audience, especially kids. Marvel has done a great job with this by being able to balance silly, lighthearted moments with serious and emotional situations. Just look at the Iron Man films to be exact. The first Iron Man did a fantastic job with integrating elements of comedy into a cohesive, character-driven narrative. This first Spider-Man movie that Marvel plans to release is dated for July 28th, 2017, and it should take the same approach that the first Iron Man movie did. Spider-Man is a character who is known for being funny and making wisecracks in the middle of battle. However, he's also known for having some of the darkest storylines in all of comics. I'd even go so far as to argue that he's the more tragic character than Batman. My point is, Marvel Studios did a great job of balancing the comedic side of their characters with the serious situations around them, and it's a practice that I'm sure will carry over into how they handle Spider-Man. Number 8. Awesome action scenes. Now, if you've seen any Marvel movie, you'll know that these movies have had some of the most intense and intricate action scenes in cinema history. Captain America: The Winter Soldier had a lot of action scenes in it, and were choreographed so well that you barely even notice that the main hero isn't in costume for about half the movie. And what about that big action scene in Iron Man 3 where Tony Stark leads an army of almost 50 Iron Man suits against some superpowered bad guys? And do I even need to mention the Battle of New York from the Avengers? Just imagine the kind of dynamic battles Marvel can craft for Spider-Man. I'm sure we're bound to get something marvelous. Number 7. Box office records will be broken. Now, we know the first solo Spider-Man movie is in 2017, but there's been a lot of talk about having the web-slinger appear in 2016's Captain America: Civil War, and it's something that I'm fairly certain is going to happen. And 2016 is already going to be a big year for comic book movies. I mean, we're also getting Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice that year. But Spider-Man's inclusion in Civil War, a story that already involves Iron Man going up against Captain America, will undoubtedly give Marvel the push it needs to defeat DC and Warner Bros. At the box office. Number 6. The casting. Marvel's no stranger to picking the perfect people for the job. Just look at Robert Downey Jr., for instance. Iron Man is what got Downey to be the big-name star he is today. Same goes for the likes of Chris Hemsworth and even Chris Pratt. Not to mention, Marvel has been able to cast some outstanding, well-known actors in parts. Samuel L. Jackson and Scarlett Johansson are some of the most famous stars in Hollywood, and they both have great roles in the Marvel movies. I can only imagine what the cast for Marvel Studios' Spider-Man is going to look like. Marvel could get some big names for the Spidey cast, and whoever they pick to be the web-slinger, I'm sure will be cast well. Rumor has it that Logan Lerman and Dylan O'Brien are being looked at for the role, and I think both of them would be outstanding choices. Seriously, folks, Marvel's going to cast this right. And I know what we're all thinking, and Marvel, you'd be a fool not to. Bring back J.K. Simmons' J. Jonah Jameson. He was the best part about the original trilogy, and he's totally up for a comeback. For crying out loud, he voices good old JJ in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show you have going on, so just do it already, okay? Okay. Number 5. What this means for the future. Whether you realize it or not, Spider-Man sharing the screen with the rest of Marvel's heroes is a historic event. As I've said countless times in the past, it's something that fans would be so excited to see happen, and now it's finally gonna happen. But what's even more exciting is what this could mean for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and for superhero movies in general. Each of the films in the MCU have been littered with references and Easter eggs that hint at certain plotlines or characters, and I cannot wait until we start seeing that type of thing with Spider-Man-related characters. Additionally, this monumental event of putting Spider-Man with the Avengers will cause other movie studios to up their game. Since Marvel could potentially release a movie that features Iron Man, Captain America, and Spider-Man all in one movie, You just know that there will be other similar movies made by other companies. Who knows, DC might wind up doing a Flash and Green Lantern team-up, or maybe a Blue Beetle and Booster Gold movie. And Fox probably might get things started with an X-Men and Fantastic Four crossover. No matter what happens next, it's clear that Spidey appearing in the MCU will raise the standards previously set in the superhero genre. Number 4. Adapting great Spidey stories. Now, this is something that I'm really looking forward to. Marvel has been known for adapting some of its most famous comic book storylines to the silver screen, as well as bringing some fan-favorite characters to life. The Spider-Man stories published under Marvel Comics have been some of the best comics ever written, and Marvel Studios will for sure be looking to let these works influence their movies. It's already been said that Peter Parker will be back to his high school roots, so maybe they'll take some influence from the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books. I would absolutely love to see that. Plus, seeing adaptations of famous Spidey stories like Kraven's Last Hunt, Maximum Carnage, and even the Clone Saga would be great. Oh, and I'm pretty sure that with Marvel, we're finally going to get a proper treatment of the Venom character. Cool design aside, the Venom we got in Spider-Man 3 was nothing like his comic counterpart, and fans have been clamoring for another go of this character, so why not? Number 3. Spidey gets to interact with other heroes. This is probably going to be the biggest plus for some people. In the comic books, Spider-Man would often team up with the likes of the Fantastic Four or Daredevil to take down certain foes, and the Web-Slinger has even joined the ranks of the Avengers. The interactions Spider-Man has with the other heroes of the Marvel Universe are absolutely outstanding in the comic books, and I would love to see that translated to screen. Just imagine scenes where Iron Man and Spidey mouth off to each other, Bruce Banner enlists Peter Parker to help him with a scientific problem, and Captain America being flattered by the way Peter used to idolize the war hero. Marvel has handled the way that heroes interact with each other fantastically, especially in the Avengers movie, and I'm sure they won't mess things up with Spider-Man. Heck, in Civil War, Tony and Peter might become good enough friends for Stark to build Spidey that incredible Iron Spider suit from the comics. I know, I'd love to see that. On a somewhat related note, I really want to see a Marvel Knights movie now, showing Spidey team up with Daredevil, the Punisher, and maybe even Moon Knight to take down the criminal underworld in New York. What can I say? I'm a sucker for these kinds of team-ups. Number 2. The mini foes of Spider-Man. Next to Batman, Spider-Man has one of the largest rogues gallery in comics. In fact, some could argue that many of Marvel's best villains originate from Spider-Man comics. As I've said before, I'm sure Marvel will give another go at Venom, but it would be great to see some new faces too. The likes of Mysterio, Kraven the Hunter, Hobgoblin, Scorpion, and the Shocker have never been on the big screen before, so why not introduce them? Maybe even introduce the Thunderbolts, a team of supervillains from the comics, and include some of Spidey's enemies on the team. The one major Spider-Man villain that I'm looking forward to seeing in the MCU is without a doubt Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. In recent comic history, Osborn has made a name for himself by establishing the Dark Avengers during the time he took over S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think the MCU would benefit from adapting that story. Also, I just think it'd be cool to give the Iron Patriot suit to Osborn, just like the way he wore it in the comics. And the number one reason to be excited about Spider-Man joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the simple fact that Marvel cares about Spider-Man. They've tried to get him back for many years now, and they want him for a reason. He's one of their most beloved characters and deserves to be treated as such. Marvel Studios won't allow greed and corporate business to get in the way of giving fans the Spider-Man franchise we deserve to see unfolded onto the big screen. They care. They know what the fans want, and they're gonna do their darn best to give us that. And that's how it should be. The people behind Marvel Studios are wonderful people that truly do care about the movies they make, and Spider-Man will be no exception. Thank you all for watching, and let me know how you feel about this news in the comments below. I can assure you that I'm very much looking forward to seeing what is done with my favorite superhero. Peace out.